Mangwana ni malelepo, vukenjani, krekpas, dumelang manave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning. This remains your portal into Africa's most potent stories. Today, we're going to be traversing the continent as well as Namibia with our news videos of the week from the nation ending the show. But prior to that, these are some of the top stories we'll be looking at. AU rejects draft endorsement of Macky Sall's UN bid. Motsepe visits Senegal following CAF decision on Africa Cup final. Tanzania orders officials to use buses as fuel prices surge. Uganda sets May 12 for Museveni inauguration after election victory. Botswana's President Duma Boko says coalition politics is the future, urging ANC and EFF to work together. So an interesting show ahead without a doubt, including NaTIS of Namibia revealing their mobile testing units, amongst other updates, including the Editors Forum of Namibia getting sponsorship from FNB. This is Africa Good Morning. Find us on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA. My name is Ashwin Berry. Top stories shortly.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
Getting into our top stories. A draft decision to endorse former Senegalese President Macky Sall's candidacy for United Nations Secretary General was rejected after 20 of 55 African Union member states objected or requested more time within a 24-hour silence procedure. The bid submitted by Burundi after President Evariste Ndayishimiye assumed the AU chairmanship was not formally backed by Senegal and was not presented at the February summit. AU procedures require review by committees before a consensus or two-thirds decision, which did not occur. The silence procedure, typically used for administrative matters, set a one-third objection threshold among 49 eligible states. Countries including Algeria, South Africa, Nigeria, and Rwanda broke silence, while Egypt and Liberia later withdrew positions. Concerns focused on process, limited consultation time, and ambiguity around silent states' positions. While Macky Sall's diplomatic profile includes serving as AU chair and involvement in global initiatives, his domestic record remains contested. The outcome was widely seen as preserving AU procedures and avoiding a contested endorsement that could have divided member states and weakened institutional processes. Confederation of African Football President Patrice Motsepe visited Dakar to support Senegalese football leadership following the decision that stripped Senegal of its Africa Cup title. He did not directly address the ruling but expressed concern about declining confidence in refereeing and judicial decisions. During the visit, Motsepe met President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, who has supported the national team since the January final. The match saw Senegalese players walk off the field for nearly 10 minutes after a controversial penalty decision and crowd unrest behind the goal. Players later returned. Morocco missed the penalty and Senegal won in extra time. CAF's disciplinary board imposed fines exceeding $1 million and suspended Senegal's coach and players, but upheld the result. In March, the appeals board ruled Senegal forfeited the match for leaving the field without authorization and awarded Morocco a 3-0 victory. The Senegalese Football Federation has since appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Lausanne, seeking to challenge the decision and restore the result. Here is Patrice Motsepe from Senegal.
To work together to support football in Senegal, the football leadership, and also, very importantly, as Africans, to talk about the deep love we have for the people of Senegal and for the people of the 54 nations on the African continent.
C'est aussi l'occasion pour nous de exprimer le profond amour, la profonde passion que nous avons pour le football, mais également pour notre continent et pour son football. Please, guys, s'il vous plaît, derrière, s'il vous plaît, faites-moi de bruit, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
So when after I visited the headquarters of the Fédération Sénégalaise de Football, I will jump on the plane and go to Morocco, and I will have meetings in Morocco tomorrow with the football leadership in Morocco, and we will also have discussions with senior leaders from the government of Morocco. And the message I gave today is the identical message I'm going to give to the people of Morocco, to talk about my personal deep commitment, CAF's deep commitment to the football leadership in Morocco, and our commitment to work together with the government of Morocco and as well as express our gratitude to King Mohammed VI, may God assist him, but also a message of love to the people of Morocco from the 54 nations in Africa, to say that we are here as CAF and the leadership of CAF to work together with the leadership of Senegal, with the leadership of Morocco, to ensure that the development and growth of African football, we all continue to make our contributions to the development and growth of African football with the rest of the 54 nations whose member associations are part of CAF, and to focus now on preparations for the FIFA World Cup, which is taking place in a few months in America, Mexico and Canada.
Moving on, Tanzanian President Samia Suluhu Hassan has directed government officials to commute together by bus during official engagements as part of measures to conserve fuel amid rising global energy prices. The directive was announced at a swearing-in ceremony and aims to reinforce discipline in public resource use while easing financial pressure on the state. The president stated that only her core convoy, including security and essential vehicles, would remain in operation. The move follows significant increases in petrol, diesel and kerosene prices driven by global market disruptions linked to the conflict in the Middle East. Now, Tanzania remains heavily dependent on imported fuel for transport industry and power generation, making it vulnerable to international volatility. Moving on. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni, in power for just over 4 decades, will be sworn in on May 12, 2026 at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds in Kampala, following his victory in the January general election. The inauguration will be held under the theme Protecting the Gains, making a qualitative leap into high middle-income status, according to the Uganda Media Center. Museveni, who has led Uganda since taking power through an armed rebellion in January 1986, secured 71.65% of the vote based on official results announced by Electoral Commission. His closest rival, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, widely known as Bobi Wine, received 24.72%. The ceremony will formalize the continuation of Museveni's leadership following the electoral process and official confirmation of results. The event is expected to take place at the traditional national venue for major state functions, marking another phase in Uganda's political timeline as the president begins yet another term following decades in power and successive electoral victories under his administration. Now we've got a little bit of a throwback for you. President of Botswana Duma Boko said coalition politics will define the future of governance, stating that he has communicated this view to South Africans. He said political parties will need to work together and make compromises as part of this evolving landscape. Boko specifically referenced the African National Congress and the economic freedom fighters. Have a look.
In South Africa and say to them, and I said this before when I was on South African soil many years ago, I said coalition politics is going to be the future of politics in our region at the very least. Aggregation politics. Political parties are going to have to come together. Strike compromises. Because Hitler was able to rise because two critical players in that society failed to strike compromises and come together. And this fatal error resulted in the rise of Hitler. Hitler may be rising in South Africa, a different kind of Hitler. Some of you call it monopoly capital. Whatever name you ascribe to it, there's a threat looming. It threatens you, it threatens all of us. It seems to me, and I'm no expert on your politics, it calls for a careful reflection on the approach henceforth. Economic freedom fighters, the African National Congress, all of them must step up in order to step back and reflect on the existential threat that faces their country and the rest of the region, and indeed the continent. And when they do, I hope they rise above and beyond some of these differences and realize that what unites them is bigger and stronger than anything that could divide them. Just a wild thought thrown by a brother, a friend.
An interesting perspective indeed. Do make sure you watch Second Take on Sunday at 9 p.m. on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, as well as NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA, as I will be talking about this new approach suggested by President Duma Boko, amongst other pertinent issues, however, in a satirical manner. This is, however, Africa. Good morning. We look at the weather and we return with news videos of the week from Namibia.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism,
Welcome back to Africa. Good morning. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite show you the weather there. We're hoping to have it later in the broadcast. Fortunately, we've got several broadcasts on NTV, and do make sure you follow us on our Facebook pages, as we will be giving you those updates as needed. And of course, check out the Synergy chatbot. For now, we get into Namibia's news videos of the week. First National Bank of Namibia this week handed over a 250,000 Namibian dollar sponsorship to the Editors Forum of Namibia in Windhoek, marking a notable moment for the local media sector. During the handover, Forum Chairperson Toivon Jebela expressed appreciation for the financial support, highlighting the importance of such contributions in strengthening journalism in the country. He further noted that the bank's involvement extends beyond funding, as FNB will also sponsor 2 key award categories. This video was compiled by Philippus Joseph.
Because this is a long-term partnership. It didn't start with this year's event only. So you've been with us along a very long journey, and this is a continuation of a partnership that has survived the test of time for a period of time. So we are grateful for the generosity. We are particularly grateful for the bank's recognition of the work that we do as journalists, not as EFN. EFN, we are just coordinating for the fraternity, but the fact that probably the biggest financial institution in the country recognizes the trade of journalism, the importance of journalism to our country, that for us means everything. So we are really grateful. Also the fact that we went beyond the just sponsoring for logistics. You also took it upon yourself to sponsor 2 categories, including the main prize of the evening, which is the Journalist of the Year award. So you went beyond just the boundaries of helping us logistically. But perhaps last, it's also important to say that this sponsorship, the confirmation of this sponsorship after conversations that we've had for some time now, also helps us to now get the ball rolling, because this sponsorship is the alpha and omega of our preparations. There's just no way that we would have gone ahead with the preparations without the anchor and main sponsorship that you have generously extended to us. So we are grateful. We wish the bank very well. We wish the leadership very well in its wisdom to always remember that this fraternity plays a very, very important role in disseminating information, educating the public, empowering communities with information. So yeah, all the best also for the bank itself.
Now, FNB Namibia Communications Manager Kirsty Vatemeyer said that the bank's sponsorship of the Editors Forum of Namibia Journalism Awards, taking place in June, reflects its commitment to a strong, ethical and independent media sector. Speaking during the handover in Windhoek, Vatemeyer highlighted the role of journalists in shaping informed societies, holding institutions accountable and amplifying the voice of communities. This was also by Philippus Joseph.
Societies, holding institutions accountable and amplifying the voices of communities. At FNB Namibia, we deeply value the work journalists do, and we know that it is done often under challenging circumstances. This work is a vital part of ensuring that the public has access to accurate, balanced and trusted information. Supporting the EFN Journalism Awards is one of the ways in which we recognize and celebrate this important contribution. We're particularly thrilled to sponsor 2 prestigious categories at this year's awards ceremony. Journalist of the Year, recognizing outstanding excellence, dedication and impact in journalism, and the Fraud and Cyber Transparency Journalism Award, which celebrates balanced, responsible and accurate reporting that contributes to the public's understanding of fraud, cybercrime and the broader fight against financial and digital crime. As a financial institution, FNB Namibia sees firsthand the growing importance of informed reporting and combating fraud and cybercrime. Responsible journalism plays a critical role in educating the public. raising awareness, and fostering trust, not only within the financial sector, but across society as a whole. By sponsoring this category, we aim to encourage reporting that
All right, now with an update from NMH Network Media Hub journalist Aurelia Africana, the Minister of Works and Transport Veikko Nekundi this week officially conducted the groundbreaking ceremony for the Vanaheda NaTIS Center. The one-stop center will be a modern, purpose-built facility strategically located closer to the community. It will offer a comprehensive range of services as well. Now, Nekundi also revealed the introduction of a NaTIS on Wheels mobile station to be rolled out in May, providing over-the-counter services to rural communities. Have a look.
We have finalized the formalities of this event. Now we are on the actual site. This is then symbolizing, and the hand over the side is our indication that work must start with immediate effect. The men and the women who've been trusted to do the physical work, as of today, you are enabled to start with the actual construction of this NaTIS, and be assured the people who this service is intended will not sleep until you finish the actual construction and hand over this service to the people. People will not praise you that you are on site. People will only praise you when you hand over the project. The project is not the actual work. The project is NaTIS office to be delivered to our people. Chair, the leadership of the council, the colleagues from the enforcement agencies, and all present today enable us then to take this as a symbol that we mean business, and today God have blessed us that we must now imagine that the dust go in the air because it's wet, you know. You may just imagine that you are seeing the dust in the air. Yes, thank you. Put it there now. Okay. You can
finished 64 questions. The system also marks it by itself automatically. There will be an examiner in there just to invigilate the testing, and then after that, if you've passed your learner's license test, you can also have your learner's license certificate issued here at this office. Immediately. Yes. Explain. Happens, and we're able to integrate with Home Affairs. We can do the fingerprint scanning.
And maybe the aim why we are doing that as well
is obviously to curb corruption and people writing tests on behalf of each other. Our computerized learner's license testing facility here. These are all HP machines. We can accommodate about 8 students at a time. So if we do about 5 sessions per day, 8 times 5, we can do about 40 learners per day. And we feel that that is a massive improvement in our efficiency. So obviously this truck will also be used not just to decentralize learner's license testing, but also to decongest the current offices that are extremely busy.
System here is to make sure that the person who's writing the test, your fingerprint, you are the one here. And here to continuously monitor you that indeed the face is sitting in his chair, it is you, so that you do not lock on and then you disappear. So your face and your fingerprint will constantly be monitored. To eliminate corruption, somebody writing on your behalf. The camera to check your face continuously until you are done. Is a fingerprint to link on. So your fingerprint and your face are interrelated. The moment if it's
4.2 million.
So times then 14 to give you the indication. It's around 50 million somewhere.
That's been Africa Good Morning for the week. Do join us next week on Monday as we start off with Mike Sichula delivering the Zambia report and, of course, the latest updates from the beautiful continent on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTVAFRIKA.MY.NA. You have been joined by Ashwin Bedi, and as we always say at this time, Swera Jaganaka.